This is how to be true to your ghoul. Hi folks, Old Man Grognard here, and today we've got another wonderful supplement from Small Nature Games, which is Ghoul Keep and the Ghoul Lands, which is compatible with a Labyrinth Lord, but you don't have to use it for Labyrinth Lord, which is nice. This is, once again, this was published in 2012. This is from the pen of Peter C. Spahn with Luigi Castellani, art, and Tim Harton of Paratime Designs for the maps. Once again, this is a glorious supplement. This takes place in the Amherst campaign world of Peter's design, but it does not have to be there. It can be, you can drag and drop it into practically any world you want. It's got a certain feel to it. First of all, what you have here is the upper portion of Amherst, which is the land of Makar Moor, which everybody else refers to as the Ghoul Lands. Now, this is ruled by Lorigan Makar, who is a resident, or not a resident, but I mean he's old. He's a ghoul-human hybrid, they call. There are other ones in there, but I want to differentiate. He escaped the ruination of the ancient city of Moor, which you can find out in another supplement by another company, which is interesting. Faster Monkey Games, Lesserton and Moor, the ruins of Moor, which are available free on DriveThruRPG and RPG Now as PDFs. I think all their stuff is free. I don't even think they're around anymore. But anyway, he wants to bring back the glory of the city of Moor. He's not exactly happy being a part ghoul, but if it achieves a means to an end, then there you go. Every once in a while, he has to get new body parts, because when he was defeated a long time ago by Valanave, the hero of the Amherst area, his body was spread into like 6 or 8 parts, and so far he's only got his head and his right arm. So every once in a while he has to get fresh meat to transfer them to, etc., etc., etc. And that's, and he rules with an iron fist. Now, I find this place interesting because it's not your usual city of undead, army of darkness type stuff. First of all, ghouls are king, as far as like, they're all over the place. But human people, regular people are too. Here's the deal. At night, everybody locks their doors, boards their windows, and the ghouls don't get them because ghouls have free reign to roam at night. There is a few ways around this, but most people just stay indoors. And they hide out in caverns and caves and, like I said, come out at night. And there's also different types of ghouls. There's warrior ghouls, what they call reaver ghouls, which were former priests and other people. Warrior ghouls, which are basically fighters, shadow ghouls, thief ghouls, and sorcerer ghouls, who are magic user ghouls. And they are somewhat intelligent. They are, you wouldn't have an undead kingdom if you didn't have some kind of intelligence in there. They also have ghasts and other things there too. They also have a creature called the Ghoul, which is half ghoul. It's mainly because Makar has several wives, and since he's part human, he can procreate. And what they birth is a Ghoul, which is a half ghoul, half human. And a lot of those are considered royalty, and so there's that aspect. You've got a lot going on in here, and it's really nice too. Let's take a look at the book real quick. Here's the usual layout, the usual fine layout from Small Niche Games. I love their stuff. Here's a few other things. Can't really read that. Cabal of the Great Skull, another faction. It's very well organized. It's organized like any other country. It's got like areas, kingdoms, small baronies, which are run by human barons. There's quite a few humans in here, probably evil humans, but they kind of work hand in glove with the king and the rest of the the royalty. There's a few new magic. There's a few new potions I really like in here because I can use those with other campaigns. They have a potion in here which you take it. I mean, it's pretty gross looking, but if you take it, you can pass as a ghoul for so many hours or days. I can't remember what the duration is, but it makes you look like a ghoul, so you can pass with. I think there is a role there for everybody that looks at you, but there's another one in here which I kind of like, but it's kind of, I like it. It's a little dangerous because they have this potion that if you take it, you have to make an immediate save versus death, or you go into a coma for 1d3 days and lose a level. But if you make the save, you are immune to, well, let me put it this way. If a vampire bites you, and there are vampires in here, there's one or two. If a vampire bites you, he has to make an immediate save versus death or be destroyed. And if he does make the save, he has to immediately turn into mist and get the hell out of there and go to his coffin. So it's got a really good upside, but the downside is kind of dangerous. So I kind of like that. Some new monsters in here, like the ghouls and the ghoul. There's a reaver ghoul right there. Now this describes, like I said, the lands around Ghoul Keep and the Ghoul lands. But it also describes the keep too. This is what the keep looks like. It's the middle of I want to say valley, but you got two cliffs on either side, and basically it blocks it. So you've got to figure out a way around it if you want to go in there. Why you want to? Well, you may be bored in there. Who knows? I mean, people live there. They do. And what's weird about this society is they like adventurers. They do. I mean, you have to abide by their rules, but which I find a little bit of a problem, which I'll discuss later. Now, the Ghoul Keep also has caves around it where a lot of the ghouls stay, and they also have a cult in here. There's one of the caves around there. They also have a cult in here called the Cult of Rebirth, which is the whole religious setup of the whole, land. And what it is it's divine to come back as a ghoul, things like that. And, a lot of people say, there's a lot of evil people going, oh, I can hardly wait until I'm reborn and all this. And other people who don't want to be reborn, so they, things like that. My friend Eric Tinker called it a grittier Ravenloft, or should be probably a grittier Barovia, be more apt, because it has some grit to it, which is good. And it's got some interesting characters in there. I mean, they're not all evil. There's a lot of like working stiffs in there, and people like captains of guards and things like that who really don't want to be there, but they don't know what else to do. And you got character stuff going on, which is really good. There's also other factions, like I think he has a daughter that wants to usurp, the king wants to usurp him. I know there's a vampire somewhere that's just biding his time, trying to build up some kind of force to overthrow this guy, because he feels that having a ghoul for a leader, or even a part ghoul, is an affront to him, and he could do a better job. So you've got all those kind of factions going on. There's a lot to do here. There's like plot hooks on the hoof. It even comes with a small sandbox adventure called Calitus Corpi. And what it is a cult that's similar to the Cult of Rebirth, but they believe that when you die, people should eat your innards to get strength. The followers should eat their innards to get strength in the church, and the rest they resurrect as skeletons and zombies, which the Cult of Rebirth and the king don't like. So it's like the ghouls versus the skeletons and the zombies. Boom, 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 which is kind of interesting because usually they work hand in hand. But you got that going. There, like I said, there's a ton of I love this Amherst stuff. I wish there was more of it. I have a bit of a problem with it in the fact that I'd like to use it for like one-off adventure, not one-off adventures, but I mean you can actually have a campaign. It's good to me. It's good the way I run things. Other people would have no problem having a campaign in this world. I would, because there's too many. I mean, you know how I don't like Ravenloft because the deck is stacked way against the PCs. Well, this is also the case here because things like if you're an adventuring party and you're sponsored by a noble, you have to go through the agree to and go through the ritual of cleansing, which basically has a bunch of they do the ceremony and a bunch of ghouls surround them and each bites you. And if you get over, they let you get over the paralysis and all this stuff. And if you don't do, but it leaves a mark on your neck. That means you can go out at night and the ghouls will leave you alone. If you if you destroy a ghoul, that means that mark goes away and you're fair game. You can never do that ritual again, which means they're protecting their own, which I have a problem with since it's mostly, parties want to go out and kill undead. And since the majority of them are ghouls, it's kind of a catch-22. I mean, it's a nice catch-22 if you're doing like an adventure in there or something. I could do a campaign in there because that's just too much of a, it's too much of a, catches in my throat, catches in my craw. But I wouldn't mind sending people in there for like reconnaissance or maybe rescue or something like that. People getting kidnapped from like the Valenwall or Dolve or someplace like that and take it to the Gulag, because there's an organization called the Black Choke that are slavers that will do that. They will capture people for slaves and sell them to the Ghoul lands, the Ghoul Keep, whatever. And so that will happen. But it's a good book. And you know what? It's one of those things where and once again he gives you enough to go on. Actually, he gives you a lot to go on, especially when you get into the caves and the dungeon of the keep. Now, this one kind of walks a fine line for me because I always said I like dungeons who like you got something, blah blah blah, give a few lines and then fix it. This has more than that. So I'm going to do an exception to what I say where I don't want very much. I mean, fortunately, there's no box text. But if I got stuff that I can steal from, that's good. To me, this is the purpose for me for Mega Dungeons. I won't go through Mega Dungeons. Oh, that's neat. I'll just take that section and put that over here for something else. This is you can get a lot of stuff out of this. And it's even got in the back 2 pages on making tougher undead, which is nice. Where to find it? Drive-Thru RPG Now is probably your best bet. They run the PDF is $7.95, the softcover $19.95, and both is $27.90. And I'll have the links down there, of course. There are other places. I mean, I went to Noble Night, and of course they're sold out. But probably Drive-Thru RPG and RPG Now would be your best bet. I didn't see it over in Amazon, so us who have Prime. So that is the Ghoul Keep and the Ghoul Lands. Peter C. Spawn, write more, do more. This is fun. If I ever get back to Labyrinth Lord or D&D or whatever, guess where I'm going to be? I'm going to be in Amherst. I'm going to be in Amherst. Well, not here, but I'm going to steal stuff out of here. You bet. In fact, there's an old Mayfair supplement for first edition called Undead. This would work great with it. This would really work well with it. You can have a rivalry between that caldera and the Ghoul lands and things like that. Anyway, that's my take on it, folks. So go out and get it, please. So, and that's about all I have for Small Niche Games Amherst stuff, until I get my hands on some more stuff. Anyway, so I'm hoping that that we'll have more of these, but we've got more reviews coming up anyway. And if you want to talk about any of this stuff, undead or not, oldmangrognard@gmail.com. So until next time, bye.